Brookelyn Farthing was born on August 26, 1994. She lived in Berea, Kentucky with her mother, Shelby Walker, her stepfather, Randall Walker, and her two sisters, Tasha Thomas and Paige Farthing. Brookelyn was a spunky and energetic teen with a love of animals and the outdoors. She had an aptitude for athletics and was described as a tell it like it is type of person. She had an interest in baking and would spend a lot of her nights baking brownies for the family. When not in the kitchen, she could be found talking with her mother. On June 21st, 2013, the family attended their pawpaw's 70th birthday party. As he had been ill, the occasion was important to everyone in attendance. After the birthday party, Brookelyn and Paige attended another party on Red Lake Road, along with their cousin. According to Paige, her sister knew the majority of the people in attendance. Between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., Paige and the cousin decided to leave, while Brookelyn, who had pre-packed her overnight bag, made plans to stay with a friend who was also at the party. Later in the evening, Brookelyn and her friend had a falling out when the friend decided to spend the night with a male friend or boyfriend, and the friend left the party, leaving Brookelyn there. Witnesses claim Brookelyn caught a ride with two men whose identities are currently being withheld. The trio drove to Floyd Branch Road to look at some horses, and later one of the men was dropped off at his home. The other took Brookelyn to his house, located in the 100 block of Dillon Court, just off U.S. Highway 421. As it was in foreclosure, there was no water or electricity in the house. At 4 a.m. on June 22nd, Brookelyn called Paige and asked if their cousin could pick her up. However, as the cousin had been drinking, they were unable, and not wanting to wake her mother, Brookelyn then contacted her ex-boyfriend, who was at work at the time. She sent him several texts which read, "Can you hurry? Please hurry, and I'm scared." The last text from her phone was sent at 5:30 a.m. with the message I just described. Her friend who owned the home left early that morning to tend to a horse. He mentioned how he saw her last sitting on the couch smoking. At 7 a.m., June 23rd, he returned to find the house on fire and Brookelyn gone. While she was nowhere in sight, her cowboy boots, purse, and some of her extra clothes were left behind. The only item missing was her cell phone. Since then, she has not been seen or heard from again. The fire concluded to have started on the couch, almost consuming it entirely, and that it burned a hole in the floor underneath, but got extinguished before it could spread any further. Due to the circumstances, the cause of the fire was ruled as suspicious. At the time, the homeowner was in the process of moving out. Because of that, the utilities and electricity had all been shut off before Brookelyn and the men arrived. That day, Brookelyn had made plans to attend a car show in Somerset, Kentucky with some friends, but never showed up and couldn't be reached by phone. Concerned, her friends contacted her sister Paige. Her family began to call and search for her. Paige told the family that her friends said she left the party with two men, who no one in the family knew by name. They believed, however, one of them was a friend or relative of Brookelyn's ex-boyfriend. Paige managed to find one of the men's phone numbers, and her sister Tasha gave him a call. She told him they were worried about Brookelyn, and he confirmed that she got in a ride with him, but that he left while she was at his house, as he was uncomfortable staying given her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. Before he left, he said he heard her talking about a party in Rockcastle County while smoking a cigarette on the front porch. The man telephoned her sister Tasha back, saying he was scared. All of Brookelyn's belongings, including her cowboy boots, purse, and some clothing, were at his house, and he believed the cigarette she'd been smoking had been the cause of a fire on his porch that morning. When he returned home around 7 a.m., the couch on the front porch was on fire and he called the fire department. The last ping was in the Blue Lick Road area of Berea, which is only minutes from the Dillon Court home. There was no evidence suggesting that Brookelyn ever spoke with anyone or planned to attend a party in Rockcastle County. According to police, records show her cell phone received more than 1,000 calls within 24 hours from people trying to reach her. According to firefighters, the couch fire had been deemed suspicious. Authorities searched more than 16,000 acres in 3 Kentucky counties. Large-scale searches were conducted in the Red Lick area and nearby Owsley Fork Lake by police, cadets, and people on horseback, and by search dogs. Cadaver dogs were also brought in, and divers searched nearby bodies of water. 1 year after Brookelyn's disappearance, her parents hosted a benefit at the Madison County Fairgrounds to help raise money for the reward fund. Their goal was to double the amount available from $5,000 to $10,000. It featured a car show, a silent auction, and live music from the Stillwater Band and Doug Thomas, and the Downtown Deuce Band. Kits were also made available for parents wishing to register their kids in case of abduction. The family set up a website with information about the case and links to where their tips could be sent in. They also set up the Missing Brookelyn Farthing Facebook page. In April 2015, a man hunting for mushrooms discovered skeletal remains. While at first it was speculated that they belonged to Brookelyn, this was later proven to not be the case. The case remains open and active, and it's believed someone in the community has information as to what happened to Brookelyn.
Now the place her family gathers.
It's like I want to go over there and open that door and think that I'm going to see her sitting there. And I know that's not true.
3 years of questions, 3 years of pain.
And we've stayed and we've waited, and it's 3 years again. And we don't have our family back together.
Not knowing where she is or what happened, they have nowhere else to go.
I've got a boarded up old house that may or may not be where she was. But for me, this is all I have. This is the only place I can go.
Years of searching and following up on leads has turned up nothing. Now, police are again asking for help finding Farthing and whoever's responsible for her disappearance. Family members say they just want to know where she is.
That we may bring her home or award unto us.
They released balloons.
Brooke, we love you.
Likewise, sending skyward their hopes and their prayers. How important is that to get Brooke home?
Would you say you'd give your life for your child?
Looking for closure beyond the closed door of an empty house in Madison County.
And I don't care what it costs or what I have to do. I want my baby home.
Theories in the case. Brookelyn's family and investigators believe that she was abducted. Investigators believe the last text she sent to her ex-boyfriend, the one that read, "Never mind, I'm okay, I'm going to a party in Rockcastle County," was written and sent by someone else. As well, her family believes she wouldn't have left the house on Dillon Court without her belongings. According to them, she had no reason to run away or walk out on her life. My theory on the case would be something is very wrong, in my opinion, with the man that her sister Tasha contacted, who claims that he was a friend of the ex-boyfriend. He claims that Brookelyn came to the house with these 2 other guys, and because he was a friend of the ex-boyfriend, he decided to leave his home, which I believe this was his home, although there was no lights or electricity or anything in the home. But if you're a friend of her ex-boyfriend, why would you leave her there with 2 suspicious guys that you don't know? And why would they feel comfortable to bring her to your home anyway? number two, and then you're just gonna leave them there and there's no electricity or heat or anything. So I mean, just out of human decency, even if her ex-boyfriend wasn't cool with her or they had a bad breakup or whatever, just out of human decency, you would think he would be like, I'm not gonna leave you here with these guys, and especially because I'm concerned about your safety. It didn't seem like he was that concerned, in my opinion. Also, his story just seems jaded to me. He claims that when he got back, he left and she was sitting on the porch smoking a cigarette, and that when he got back, the couch on the front porch was burning at 7 a.m. in the morning. So you're telling me these so-called phantom two guys were there, so I guess they left and then they took her with them, or whoever, or she just went somewhere else. Oh yeah, that's another thing. He said that she told him she was going to another party in Rock Castle. Well, why would she do that? That made no sense, and not tell you where she's going or how she's going to get there. And it never said that, he never spoke about anything regarding these two guys. I mean, if she came there with them, wouldn't they have said they're going to that party, or if they weren't going to that party? Just seems like a lot of holes in his story. And police is not saying, but I'm sure that they're looking more into his story, because in my opinion, I believe he's the person that knows a lot more than what he's saying, and that her disappearance has a lot to do with him, the police is deciding not to name him at this time because they're probably very suspicious of him as well. So with that said, my heart goes out to Brooklyn's family and friends, and I pray that one day that her family receives some resolution in her disappearance and that she returns home soon. And thank you so much for watching.